We thought an old mentor of yours on a Thursday night to come in and have a chat. He's had a fortnight to get his feet under the desk. It's one of the biggest jobs in footy. It might be the biggest, being the Collingwood coach. Craig McRae has taken his time to find his way. We thought now was the time to have a chat.
Over to you, Craig, and again, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Let's face it, this is a significant part of my journey, and it's been a long one. I'm not a star of the game, retiring great, a big name if you like, but I wouldn't want it any other way. This is my journey, it's my story, all the resilience along the way and the hardship and all the successes. It's shaped me to be the person I am, and I sit here really comfortable in the seat just to be the best person for the job.
Round of power, who taps it over to McRae. He loves a goal, Craig McRae. On the left, goal.
Development tick, culture tick, strategy tick, and his experience across the board. So, he's a fantastic fella. He'll be terrific for Collingwood.
He's had good experience in a couple of different football environments, including Hawthorn and Richmond as well. He's got a great developmental background. He's a ripper bloke, so I think he'd be a great choice.
Got a great footy brain. He's a real teacher and a real student of the actual skills of the game.
Taken by McRae. A snap goal. He's kicked it.
We're going to work really hard to develop winning habits and behaviours that you'll be really proud of us, win, lose or draw, the way we go about it. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and thanks again for putting me in this chair, and I'm looking forward to getting to work and making this club rise up the ladder like we want it to do.
Craig McRae, great to have you on AFL 360.
Thanks, Jared. Evening, Jack.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Is the glow still there, or have you settled into a rhythm 15 days in?
It's pretty exciting. I get the best park at the club, and I got some new shoes from Nike, so I'm going okay.
And that office, have you made that office your own?
Yeah. It's been a busy time. I've walked out of one job at Hawthorn, the next day I'm the coach at Collingwood, so it's been a busy time, but yeah, I'm getting to work.
It's interesting, Flo, when we know you're a people's coach, and I've been lucky enough to be coached by you as the forward line coach at the Tigers in the 2020 Premiership year. Who do you make the first call to at the football club when you want to establish those relationships and really sink your teeth into getting into the job?
Yeah, look, the great part of the process was they said, what's your first 3 months look like? So I had that in place. So there's the keys, and then get to work. So the first thing I did was talk about getting the soil right before the seed. We want to make sure we're ready to go and ready to grow. And so spending an hour with every player and every staff member was my plan, and I've just been doing that. I've been living that out, and got through nearly 30 players already, and half a dozen staff. But Pendles was the first one in answer to your question.
Have you had a chance to get in front of the whole group via either face-to-face or digitally?
Yeah, I was lucky enough, I think, got announced on the Wednesday, and I spoke to the playing group on that Wednesday, and it was much around the similar story what I just said about, let's go back in time a little bit, but we want to go forward quickly. So let's look at possibilities and opportunities that come with that, and set a bit of a standard early.
What's the Pendlebury conversation like?
Oh, look, I just got great respect for Pendles, and having worked with him previously and know his status in the club and the game. So it was around what he saw previously going on, some things that we can work on going forward, and a little bit about himself too, his young family. I didn't know his 2 kids prior to my time there. So just getting to know him a bit more than what I have.
Do you talk about how long he feels like he has left in the game, and therefore what that trajectory looks like under your coaching?
Yeah, we did, and I'll keep that between him and I at the moment. But we did talk about that. I still think he's got a lot to offer our footy club in varying roles, and I've said that openly before. I think the leadership's up to him to decide what he wants to do with that, and that'll take its own course.
You've got a fantastic philosophy on footy, and it'd be great to get a few little insights into it. But you've always spoken about the fun and the skill acquisition side of things. Is that where it starts for you? Just getting smiles on faces and getting people engaged in actually playing football under you?
Yeah, I like telling stories and
jokes.
And jokes, yeah. Hawthorn sort of got sick of all my stories, and I actually ran out of stories really quickly. But yeah, I think I want to create an environment, or we want to create an environment where everyone feels safe to be themselves. And if that means that you're a funny guy like you, Jack, well, let's go be that guy. And we're not always like that, but I just want everyone to be able to stand in front of everyone and be themselves.
And your passion for skill acquisition, you've always Well, you were big on having a goal kicking routine. You've been kicking coach at the Melbourne Storm. You're a lovely left foot kick when you were playing as well. Is there an element of that you're going to bring across and sort of strip it back and take it back to fundamentals?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're going to get really busy on our fundamentals as a part of our game that we've got to get better at. We're going to have close to 20 players in their first to third years, so we're going to get back to work. And even talking to Pendles, back to him, he was really excited by that, revisiting the fundamentals of the game. Does it feel different being the guy? Well, I drove past this afternoon, Jared, and I thought, yeah, OK, I'm actually the coach of that footy club. Yeah. So it hasn't quite sunk in yet, but no, I must admit, you get inside the four walls and it's just like any footy club. And I've coached at a different level, VFL, and I really enjoyed doing that and had great success with many others working towards that. So I'm enjoying making the stronger decisions, if you like. Yeah. Do you draw immediately on those experiences of when it was your team to make the decisions? Yeah. And I was fortunate working at the Storm for, just 1 day a week for about 5 years, but also being at Richmond at the same time. So I'd go across on my day off and then come back, and the great success that was being built at the Storm was happening at the same time at Richmond. So seeing the DNA required to win, I could see it firsthand from different sporting organisations. So a lot of those habits and things that I was seeing, the culture, I started delivering in my own team. And an old sparring partner of yours, and he basically sets you up for all your jokes, and that is Justin Lepich is going to join you at Collingwood. Who made the call there? Did Lepich ring you and tell you that he was coming down to Collingwood, or did you actually have to ask him to come down? Yeah, well, as everyone knows, we're very close, but we speak 2 or 3 times a week. Even when he was on your show, Jared, I enjoyed listening to him on your show. So no, I think I said openly again that I want a diverse coaching group and allow the players to experience different experiences from the coaching group. So Leper brings an enormous amount of experience and he's really good at what he does. But the fortunate thing for me is I know what he's really good at. So I'm going to allow him to express himself in those areas. So he came in with his Collingwood top on Tuesday, and it went really well with his Lions premiership tattoo on his ankle. And his shorts. I did think that you did bedevil that club, you blokes, No, I did have a conversation that we don't talk about that. We're going forward, you talk about your jokes being reused. Justin Lepich has just found another sort of 50 to 100 people that he can roll his material out. He's got at least 5 years of material, so he'll be loving life down there. The other coach that come in, Brendan Bolton, you've only seen 12 months of him at Hawthorn. Must have impressed you to get him along, basically, as your assistant. Oh, he's outstanding at what he does. He's really structured, and I think that's going to complement Leper and myself and other coaches that will be there. So he'll just keep us on track. I know he'll plan a really good pre-season with all of us involved in it, and he'll make us all better. He's a great teacher, and this young group's going to really benefit from that. Do you expect to be active at all in the trade period, knowing that you've got Dacos, who's committed to Collingwood, so that's the key piece of the draft? Yeah, we are. And I'm only just coming up to speed with that. We've got another meeting on Friday, so there's a little bit to play out on that. But I think we'll take Nick's obviously an important acquisition for us. Get him on board, and I've had a conversation with him for an hour too. I really enjoyed chatting to him as a young, exciting talent coming on board. But I suppose I need to get a little bit more up to speed what's exactly going to happen around that. And Fly, you've coached Richmond VFL to a premiership. You've always had aspirations of making it as a senior coach. Run us through the feeling when you actually get told you're going to go and coach, arguably, I'm going to say the second biggest club in the world. Richmond's the biggest, but one of the biggest sporting clubs in the world. Yeah, well, I went for a walk with Roddy, and it was such a process where I knew I was getting closer with all the noise that was going on around and the conversations I had with my manager, Tom Petruo, is an amazing man, and just finding out how close I was getting. And then I went to Roddy's for a walk. And he told me that you're the guy we're going to recommend to the board, and I was pumped. I really was. And then rang my partner on the phone and got quite emotional. Actually, I just couldn't believe the journey that was, and it was a pretty special moment. Have you been practicing with the drinks on the table since the press conference, or have we? Yeah, is that the next phase? Time to move on, Jack. Very good. The team that's favourite for the grand final was 17th 2 years ago. So that's where you pick up your journey from in 17th. This is a challenging competition.
but 7 and 9 are playing in the grand final from last year and 17 from 2 years ago. Does it give you that trajectory to go, okay, if we make a whole lot of good decisions and if we coach a team really well, we won't be shackled by people who think you're going to spend a long time down the bottom?
Yeah, it gives me great comfort being at Hawthorn this year when things weren't going well, and then halfway through the year you end up beating the Bulldogs, Brisbane, and then drawing with Melbourne. That's pretty good form with a young developing team. So yeah, I think you can turn things around quickly. The gap between the bottom and the top isn't as far as it may once have been, but we've got to create those habits. We've got to form those winning habits and behaviours, which I continue to mention, and it'll take some time. There's going to be some patience required, but yeah, it's exciting, the journey we're going to take.
Good luck through the spring and over the summer, and we'll see you when pre-season's coming to its peak as we get towards the start of next season. Good luck.
Thanks, Jared.
Good luck for
Thanks,
it.
Jack.
Craig McRae, the new Collingwood coach, with us on 360.